Hey guys, this is Ray Bango, and I have the pleasure of talking with my very good friend Peter Higgins. Pete is the lead developer for the Dojo Toolkit, and one of the best JavaScript developers around. Pete, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what's going on?
I am Peter Higgins. I am the Dojo Toolkit project lead, as Ray so eloquently pointed out, and we are here at JSConf 2010, mostly recovering in the morning times, but in the daytimes we've got some talks coming up, and that's what we're doing.
Now, the Dojo team just released 1.4, which is a pretty big release.
It was a significant feature set that went into that. We're actually right on the verge of releasing 1.5, which is a much smaller delta. We focused mostly on the theme.
Okay.
A new theme contributed mostly by IBM. It feels a lot like Aristo, so it's just a really clean, light bluish kind of extremely polished thing. So we're kind of fast tracking that to get that out in the public, and then we're going to go back to a regular cycle when we hit 1.6.
Gotcha. And are there any other big features coming up in Dojo that we should know about that's going to be, I think, really important to developers?
Not really, no. I mean, it's Dojo's always been just like a stable set of APIs and whatever, so it's just progressively getting better and faster or whatever. But as far as like really compelling features, not really in this cycle.
Now, one of the cool things about the Dojo project was that, initially it was a very big project. The library was very big. I'm going to say monolithic. But you guys went through great steps to really narrow that down, to make a very small core, to make a very fast selector engine. I know Alex created Acme, and that is an insanely fast, basically an insanely fast selector engine. What were some of the things that you had to go through to make sure that not only that you created a very compelling feature set, but you also had backward compatibility?
Oh, well, we use it. Like, we eat our own cake or whatever. It has that
your own dog food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I use it. We use it at Juiced is where I work, and we use it front and backside, server side.
Right.
So, we need it to be fast. We need it to perform well. So if something starts slowing down, we notice because we're using it, right? So, and then the backwards compatibility is just our promise to everybody. So it's a little extra difficult, right? There's a lot of extra work that goes into deprecating stuff and making sure that the migration path is sound, but it's worth it to professional developers to have that contract or that promise that's going to.
Now, the one being, I'm part of the jQuery project team, so what I'm seeing is there's kind of like exactly. Thanks for the shirt. I'm seeing that there are new emerging libraries coming out, which could pose some really interesting features. You have Sprout Core, obviously. You have the work with Objective-J, which is what the 280 North guys, I think, are doing. And then you also have, of course, like Fuse.js, which is John David Dalton. He's trying to come up with some really interesting things. How do you see Dojo positioned against some of these libraries? Where do you see Dojo being the best fit? And I know it's kind of a loaded question.
It's a little bit of a loaded question.
But,
if I had my way, I'd say that none of these other libraries would exist, and we'd all be part of the Dojo spectrum, the Dojo Foundation. Like the Dojo Toolkit being this API, I mean, we're even going into 2.0 thinking, yay, we get to actually drop some of this stuff that we've been carrying around for so long. It would be nice if we could share more. And so I have these, my plugd and my Dojo type project kind of shows that the way that the philosophies of Dojo are sound, in that the namespacing is important, and we don't conflict and we don't extend natives, but you can take all of these functional APIs that we've provided and just kind of wrap them into natives, or you can wrap them into nodeless, which is the chaining query-ness. So if we just want to be a source of inspiration, maybe, here's our slightly verbose, long-handed, deprecated, whatever it is that makes this not the most ideal. Somebody else can come along and learn from our mistakes. Meanwhile, we've got to stick with it because we're using it in production. So,
gotcha. And, in terms of JSConf, obviously this is I think it came last year, if I recall.
Yeah.
And what have you kind of seen between last year's conference and this year's conference?
There's a lot more beer here this year.
Okay.
Honestly, I literally did the pilgrimage with Brian LaRue.
Okay.
300 some odd beers.
300 some odd beers?
For the keg bus, yeah.
Jeez, for the keg bus.
You should have seen the people following us around safely. Like, where are you going? Where are you going? I want to go to that party. But, it's, there's a lot, this always had such good energy, and there's a lot of really great JavaScript people here. It's actually kind of humbling, just to kind of walk down, oh, hey, Andrew DuPont, or, it's like, wow, okay, I'm not worth it. Brandon's here, and Crockford was here for a minute and he left, but it's just really, really great, and it's always a great energy. And to see that there's so much enthusiasm behind just this language, it's actually very limited on the library talks here. Like it's kind of like the libraries are almost like passé. It's like I know the APIs. These are the tools I use to do these other cooler things on top of.
Absolutely, and I'm seeing that same trend, which is good. I mean, I like the fact that so many developers are trying to embrace plain old JavaScript as opposed to be using libraries. And as much as I love libraries because they really do help abstracting a lot of those cross-browser complexities.
Totally.
But I think in order to be really successful as a JavaScript developer, you have to know the language. So it's great to have people like yourself here who I can ping ideas off of and say, hey Pete, I know you've been there and done that. What do you think about this? Are you getting that same vibe here at JSConf?
Yes. I mean, it's just phenomenal, right? Like it's so much energy and so much like, oh, this, I've got this great new idea. Like, let's talk about it. It's happening more to me off tracks though. Like it's in these like the hacker or the Facebook hacker lounge here or whatever, and just kind of running into people. So.
Now,
idle conversation, like, oh no, I've got something to say about that. Like,
now you got a long drive back to North Carolina, don't you?
Yeah. Actually, well, Tennessee's roundabout.
So. Oh, it's Tennessee. That's right. You're in Tennessee. So you're going with Rebecca Murphy and Scott Gonzalez.
Yes, it's going to be like Team jQuery, driven by the jQuery UI. I could single-handedly stop jQuery UI.
There you go. All right, I got to make sure I talk to Scott Gonzalez about that. Maybe I'm going to have to buy a plane ticket for him or something.
Totally.
Cool. Well, Pete, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. It's great, man, and always great to talk to you.
Always great to see you.
And I'm really happy that I was able to talk to him on Facebook as well, and check out Pete Higgins' Facebook account when you have a chance. It's really interesting.
And we've got things in the works, so just be on the lookout for the future of Ray Mango's website and or career, in fact.
Thanks.